In health, CTV's David Imrie joins us with the first of a three-part series, what to do and what not to do when you think you're having a heart attack, what happens when you call 911, and how skilled cardiac teams in Waterloo Region are ready to help. David.
Well, Kyle, it can certainly be a very scary situation. Crushing pressure in your chest, pain passing down your arms. You may break out in a cold sweat, or it could be as innocent as shoulder or jaw pain. All possible symptoms of a heart attack. Tonight we hear from two people who had a heart attack. One man did the right thing from the onset of his symptoms, and one who at first tried to deny something serious was wrong.
Working quietly at home in his comfortable chair, Clive Smith has always been active. He thought a heart attack was something someone else would suffer, not him.
I always envisioned like the heart attack being that big jolt in the chest, and seeing the guy who's 100, 150 pounds overweight having the heart attack, as opposed to myself. So it was a lot of denial.
But 18 months ago, he suffered one after ignoring the warning signs.
Took some antacids before I went to bed. Woke up, sweating, shortness of breath, and my left arm was numb.
It was 2 in the morning. Clive Smith knew something was wrong, but at the same time, he didn't want to disturb the peace in his neighborhood.
Let's not disturb the neighbors and call 911 and get an ambulance and sirens.
So his wife drove him to the hospital.
Went to the wrong hospital. Went to Grand River, but they knew based on the symptoms that I had given them, they put me right in.
17 hours later, when he was stable, Smith was transferred to the cardiac unit at St. Mary's Hospital, where he received 2 stents to open his arteries. He now knows the right thing to do.
If you feel any symptoms coming on, you should phone 911. Get professionals in to help to get you there. I was lucky that, I had an 80% blockage and a 50% blockage in my arteries, and I was able to get to the hospital and I was fine. But, there's other cases where...
And that's what Clive Smith doesn't like to think about. Neither does James Gregg.
If I had have waited, I probably would not be sitting here and talking with you, David.
James was at home in January, relaxing after dinner.
I had overindulged during the day. I'd been out for lunch with a couple of buddies. I thought that the indigestion that I was feeling was very well deserved. Obviously, as it turns out, it wasn't indigestion. And the pain started to grow.
He dialed 911. Paramedics were there in less than 7 minutes.
22 minutes from the time I called until we arrived at St. Mary's Hospital. And because of the new protocol that's in place now, we bypassed emergency, went right upstairs to the cardiac care unit, and the team had been called and was assembling in the cath lab.
Directly to the catheterization lab, and in minutes, 3 life-saving stents had opened his blocked arteries.
The pain that had started at 7 o'clock in the evening and had continued stopped completely when he put the 3rd stent in. The total time from when I called EMS until the stents were in place was well under their 90-minute guideline. So I'm very, very fortunate.
After the help he received from paramedics and the cardiac care team, James is ready to make some lifestyle changes.
I quit smoking the day of the heart attack, so coming up on 7 weeks for that too.
Which we're all really proud of you for.
Yeah, but you've got to change the lifestyle.
You sure do. Well, nearly 5 years ago, David, I remember this, and obviously you do too. You were there experiencing a heart attack. So what have you and the 2 gentlemen in your story learned?
Well, Kyle, that's right. There have been some very important lifestyle changes for all of us, and the good news is there have been some important changes recently here in Waterloo Region that could help to minimize the damage to your heart if you do have a heart attack. Changes that could help to save your life. And that's tomorrow as we continue with part 2 of our cardiac series.
All right, and looking forward to that. And also, just because you are here and talking about this, have to say your recovery was remarkable, and it was so scary for all of us when that happened to you. So great to have you here telling these stories tonight.
Thank you, Kyle.
All right, thanks, David.